So I've been saying I'm going to do it, and I think I'm just going to do a quick one, and it's just going to be off the cuff, and it's the top 100 wines of 2023 with the number one wine of the year by the Wine Enthusiast. I'm just going to have a little bit of this aged 20-year Riesling that I think I've waxed poetic about enough. I have some food on its way. So let's, and there goes the cork. So yeah, I shredded the cork there, but I did get it out in two holes. I'd say there's definitely some bottle variation on this wine. Some most definitely have more of an aged character than others. So, never done this before. I've seen numerous people that make wine content do it. I thought it'd be half interesting, not in a way of copying it, but just sort of a first impression at these top 100 wines for each one of these magazines. So, how do you start this? You know, I wish there was just a list of all 500. Is there a list? This is really not easy to go this way, page by page. I need to rethink it. So there is no easy way to do this. So we're gonna power through it. And from 100 to 92, there is nothing that is jumping out at me as anything specifically special. There is a Chardonnay from Monticello, the vineyards from Monticello, Keswick Vineyards. Maybe that's the best bet in this bottom 8 for $35. There's some really great vineyards in California for great Chard. There's a Godeo is number 90, Bodegas Godeval. I'm pretty sure I've had this. Oh, this is a $45 version. I've never had that one, but I do like Godeo. It's sort of Spain's Chardonnay in a sense. And some of these I just may just not know. Anything else interesting from 91 to 83? Not really. This interesting one that they added is 82. I had it says Educated Guest 2021 Merlot. I've had that Educated Guest 2021 Cab, and I would not put that in a top 100 wine list. Maybe the Merlot's better. And this is $30 here. And I'm pretty sure the Cab was about that much. Not really worth it. Here's a Zuccardi S77, so Malbec Cab Franc blend. Interesting. That's probably the most interesting so far on this page. And Vino Noble de Montepulciano, number 75, Salcetto 2019. Don't know anything about it, but always can be interesting. And then there's a Malbec at 74, Nieto Senatine. These are just guesses so far, but nothing too worthwhile yet. Domaine Serene, who makes amazing Pinot Noir. And the Willamette has a Viognier, sort of half interesting. There's another one I just don't agree with. The Dow 2022 Cab Sauv from Paso Robles, $30. I just don't think that wine's good enough. Just don't think it's good enough. It was number 68. And now we're past 62. Again, nothing super great here so far as I'm concerned. Now, it could be that I don't know these wines, but also just... Rotari 2018, Blanc de Blanc, Extra Brut, it's a Trento, so it's an Italian sparkler for $30.57. That would be very interesting to me. Never had that one, but I've wanted to try Trento. And nothing up to 52 that seemed that interesting. There is, I don't know that wine. There is a 2019 Solway Groskawak Groburgunder. Is that Pinot? I don't know. I don't want to talk about that one because I'm not sure what grape that equates to. Does it say? It could be Gewürztraminer, and then I'm definitely not a fan. This page has all the way from 51 to 32. Tablas Creek. They're Esprit Blanc de Tablas. They're white Rhone. It's $60 though, but I've had that one. It's a good wine. Number 51 for a white to mimic the Northern Rhone whites. Because I just don't know a lot of these wines. little surprising at how few I know and have tasted. Here's one, and I would definitely recommend anything from. So it's Nino Negri, 2018, Vigna Fracchia, and it's a Valtellina, so a Nebbiolo. So this one says $72. It's pretty pricey, but you're looking for an alternative, slightly lighter Barolo Barbaresco. That producer is great. Haven't had that one, but I've had numerous other ones from them. Even the lower priced ones are awesome. It's a Rioja, but I just don't know that one. Pride Mountain Chardonnay. I'm sure that's good at number 37 for $48. And that price point, Chardonnay in California does really well. Very age-worthy. Here's a Barbaresco. I just don't know it, but I love Barbaresco. I love Nebbiolos. This is kind of falling very flat to what am I expecting. I'm already into 31 here. Here's a Vietti Barolo, but it says no price, which means I don't think I've even had it, but Vietti makes some great Italian wines, Barolo being some of them, and they range in price from 50 all the way to the hundreds, but I don't know that one specifically, so I can't really speak to it. The greatest, there's a constant, number 20, start from 20 here, Constantine Frank, 2019 Brut Champagne blend. I could definitely get behind that, a $30 blend from. It's going to be very acidic, but great sparklers out of the Finger Lakes. Just of how good that acidity is, it makes great sparkling wine, so I definitely am on board with that. Don't really know that wine. Here's one that I did have recently and actually didn't like it. Number 18, Borgogno d'Orthona is the grape. Although the grape is called, there's another name to it. But it's supposed to be this age-worthy white grape. I was not a big fan. Wine is $60, so a Piedmont white that just wasn't my thing. Number 18 though on this list. There is a Grenache from Australia, which I could always get behind. Typically old vine Grenache, $60. Young Guard, 2020 Hickenbotham Grenache. Probably good. Here's a Pinot Noir from Santa Maria Valley. Buenecido, State 2020. I've heard of it. $75. You know, you get what you pay for. Santa Maria Valley, Santa Barbara County. Great Pinots out of that area. So I'm sure it's good. There's another Pinot Noir from Russian River Valley. Oh, so it's convened by Dan Costa. So Costa Brown, the Dan Costa of the Costa Brown has broken away and doing his own thing for $62. He has his own. I'm sure it's pretty good. Probably a little bit on the fuller side. That's what I remember about the Costa Browns. Louis Martini, number 11. Whew, $250. So if you could, 2019 lot, number 1 cab. I've actually wanted to try this wine for a while, but for that price point, $250, not going to happen. Cayuse, Walla Walla, a lot of great wines out of there. A lot of Syrahs. This one is a Syrah. Uncerise Vineyard, $94. But all the Cayuse wines are always really do well in the high scores. Number 8, there's a Barolo, Soretto 2019 Brico Roche. Price it says NA, so I don't know what to think about that, except that I'm sure it's pretty good. Haven't met that many Barolos I didn't like. There's a Franciacorta. I've never had this, but a sparkling wine out of Italy. Castello Bonomi 2016. Annata, so it's vintage 2016. There's a Gaps Crown Vineyard, which is a famous vineyard in Sonoma. They make Pinot and Chardonnay. 3 sticks, $70 Chardonnay, number 6 on the list, so that's out of there. There's a number 5 is Ripon 2019 Pinot Noir Central Otago, $65. Never had it. Sure, it's pretty good. There's a lot of Pinots here. It's 2 Pinots. Next one up, Brewer Clifton 2021 Pinot Noir Santa Rita Hills. Another Pinot Noir out of California from the Santa Rita Hills. Then we got a dry Riesling out of Germany, $75. Grotzgewatz, Schnappmann, Lommler, dry Riesling. Don't know much about it, but from all the Grotzgewatz Rieslings I've had out of Germany, they've all been amazing and super age-worthy. That's a 2019, so already a few years. A Barolo from Ratti, Sarah Denari, I've had Rati Barolos before, all in the $60, $70 range. This is $175. I'm sure it's fantastic. And number one is, I'm sure I've had this wine, just not recently, Duckhorn's 2019 Monitor Ledge Vineyard Cab, $105. That is their number one, Enthusiasts number one wine. An interesting top 100. Nothing like I would have imagined, and I can't believe how few of these wines I've had. I could count on one hand how many of these top 100 I've had from Wine Enthusiast, which I think is probably the most surprising thing to me. The Duckhorn has a Three Palms Merlot that is rumored to be used in a lot of Rudy Kurnia wines. He's one of the most famous wine counterfeiters in the world, or in wine history, one of the most recent, and that was caught and indicted. He used a lot of Duckhorn, I think it was called Three Palm Merlot, to blend into some of the wines he was counterfeiting to get a certain flavor profile to mimic what he thought certain aged wines would taste like. So that's the only thing I really could tell you about. A little interesting tidbit about their Duckhorn. So I feel like this video kind of fell totally flat. These wines are not what I expected as the top 100 for my Wine Enthusiast. They do also have top 100 spirits, top 50 beers. Not going to do any of those. 2023 Wine Star winners revealed. I don't know what that means, but if there's anything else interesting to mention, I'm hoping the Decanter and Wine Spectator ones have more wines that I've had and I could speak to. Typically, Wine Spectator will have some more wines that I can speak to. Maybe they're more readily available than some of the Wine Enthusiast ones. So that's it for this one. Going to have my dinner. Have a good night.